Tales for Dark Nights. Good evening. For your enjoyment, we'd like to bring you this spine-chilling tale of terror from my personal collection.
The Last Ride, written by an anonymous author, narrated by Otis Jiry. I had a dream. Ever since I was little, sometimes when I'm dreaming, I become aware that it is a dream and not reality. You know, a lucid dream. This dream was one of those dreams. For some reason, I was at a poorly lit, unmanned station by myself. This is really a gloomy dream, I thought to myself, when suddenly I heard a man's lifeless voice over the intercom. "The train will be arriving shortly. If you board this train, you will know what real fear is." Following the ambiguous announcement, a train arrived at the station. Well, calling it a train might be a bit much. It was more like a carnival ride. It was an amusement park train that was decorated with monkeys, and there were several sickly-looking people sitting in the seats. What a weird dream, I thought, but I wanted to see just how scary my dreams could be, so I decided to get on the train. If I got too scared, I could just wake myself up. With lucid dreams, I was able to force myself awake. I sat down on the train, 3 seats from the back. The air felt uncomfortably warm. The atmosphere was so realistic that I wondered whether or not I was actually dreaming. "Now departing," said the announcer, and the train began to move. My heart was pounding with anticipation and anxiety as I wondered what would happen. As soon as the train left the platform, we entered a tunnel. A purple light illuminated the tunnel eerily. "I've seen this tunnel before," I remembered. "It's the tunnel from the haunted house ride at the amusement park I went to as a kid. I must just be remembering the monkey train and haunted house rides from back then. This isn't anything to be scared of." Another announcement floated through the air. "Next is Ikedzukuri. Ikedzukuri." Ikedzukuri, I wondered. You mean the dish where the fish is sliced and served raw, but the head and tail are left there for decoration? Out of nowhere, I heard a piercing shriek come from behind me. I turned around and saw 4 small people holding rags surrounding the man in the last seat. As I got a better look, I saw that the man was being cut up with knives and being prepared just like Ikedzukuri. A strong stench drifted through the air, and the man continued his piercing scream. His insides were being taken out one after another, and his organs were scattered everywhere. Right behind me was a sick-looking woman with long hair. She panicked for a moment when it started, but soon became silent and faced forward as if nothing was happening. I was shocked with the unimaginable horror that was happening right behind me. I wondered if this was actually a dream and began to get scared. I'd waited out just a little longer before I woke myself up. Soon, I noticed that the man in back was no longer there. Blood and chunks of meat were all that remained. Just as before, the woman behind me fixed her gaze on one spot and stared ahead without expression. "Next is scooping," the announcer said. "Scooping next." This time, 2 of the small people appeared carrying spoons with jagged edges. They began to scoop out the eyes of the expressionless woman behind me. She had seemed apathetic before now, but because of the pain, her expression changed into something terrible. She raised such a cry that I thought my eardrums were burst. Her eyeballs flew from her eye sockets. The stench of blood and sweat were unbearable. I began to shake with fear. I faced forward and bent over in my seat. This is my cue. I can't take any more of this. Not to mention that, judging by the current order, I'm next in line. I was going to make myself wake up, but first I wanted to see what kind of announcement would be made next. "The grinder is next," came the announcement. "The grinder." Shit! It was pretty easy to imagine what would happen next. I concentrated as hard as I could and tried to wake myself up. It's just a dream. Wake up, wake up. I always recite these words to myself when I want to wake from lucid dreams, and it always works. Suddenly, I heard the loud whir of a machine. This time, a small person sat on my knees and came at me with a strange-looking contraption. I can only assume it was some sort of meat-mincing machine. I got even more scared. It's just a dream. Wake up, wake up. I closed my eyes and prayed with all I had. Whirr! The sound grew louder and louder. I could feel the wind from the machine on my face. I was convinced I was a goner. And then, everything went silent. I escaped from the nightmare. I was covered in sweat. I was crying. I got up from bed and went to the kitchen to get a drink of water. Somehow I calmed down. That was horribly realistic, but it was only a dream, I thought to myself. The next day I told all of my friends about the dream at school, but they all thought it was funny, because it was just a dream after all. 4 years later, I was in college. I had completely forgotten about the nightmare until one night when I was at work. That's when it started. Next is scooping. Scooping next. It was the same. Everything came flooding back. Then the same two little people were gouging out the eyes of the same expressionless girl. Shit, I thought. It's just a dream. Wake up, wake up. I started praying. But I couldn't wake up. It's just a dream. Wake up, wake up. Next is the grinder. The grinder's next. No, this is too much. Whirr. It was getting closer. It's just a dream. Wake up, please wake up. Silence. Thinking I'd escaped, I opened my eyes. Are you running away again? The voice called out to me. The next time we come for you will be the last. I opened my eyes, and this time I was really awake and in my room. The announcement I heard definitely wasn't a dream, though. I heard it here, in the real world. I know I did. What have I done? I haven't had the dream again since then, but I believe that when it happens again, I will die from cardiac arrest or something else like that. Well, in this world, it will be cardiac arrest. In the other world, though, it'll be the grinder.
I hope you enjoyed this evening's little tale. Until next time, bundle up, stay warm, sleep tight.